Hey guys, have you ever had a perfect morning completely derailed by a single, thoughtless comment before you even finished your first cup of coffee? Picture this. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. The sun is shining, and you are feeling absolutely unstoppable. You are cruising down the highway at 65 miles per hour, sipping your favorite iced latte, listening to a great podcast, and just enjoying the vibe. Then, out of nowhere, a driver aggressively cuts you off, missing your front bumper by mere inches. You have to slam on the brakes, spilling your coffee on your lap, and to top it all off, the driver rolls down their window and yells something incredibly rude as they speed away. Just like that, your peaceful morning is entirely shattered. Your heart is pounding against your ribs, your face is flushed with heat, and a dark cloud of anger settles over you. You finally get to the office, still fuming, and you immediately snap at a coworker who just wanted to ask a simple question. You spend the next 3 hours endlessly replaying the highway incident in your head, imagining all the clever, cutting things you should have yelled back. You aggressively type on your keyboard, muttering to yourself, thoroughly convinced that this complete stranger has entirely ruined your day. We have all been exactly there. It is an incredibly frustrating, helpless feeling when someone else's reckless or thoughtless behavior completely dictates your mood. It feels like you are merely a passenger in your own mind, constantly being tossed around by the unpredictable whims of rude strangers, demanding bosses, or inconsiderate friends. You end up carrying their negativity around with you like an invisible 100-pound weight strapped to your back, letting their fleeting words or actions cast a persistent dark shadow over your precious hours. You genuinely believe that they hold all the power over how you feel. But here is the hard, uncomfortable, yet ultimately liberating truth that will completely change how you navigate this world. That reckless driver did not ruin your day. That passive-aggressive email from your boss did not ruin your day. That rude comment from an acquaintance did not ruin your day. They do not possess that kind of magical power over you. The only reason your day was ruined is because you handed them the remote control to your own emotions. You voluntarily gave them full permission to push your buttons and change your channel from calm to chaotic. The grand illusion that almost all of us fall for is believing that our internal emotional state is entirely at the mercy of the external world. We mistakenly think that anger, frustration, and bitterness are mandatory reactions to bad behavior. But no one, absolutely no one, has the power to control your emotions unless you actively hand that power over to them. What if you could permanently take that remote control back? Imagine walking through your daily life with an internal sense of peace that is so incredibly bulletproof that even the most irritating, rude, or chaotic situations could not possibly rattle you. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm and remaining completely untouched by the rain. This is not some mythical superpower reserved for enlightened monks meditating on a distant mountain. It is a highly practical, everyday skill called emotional mastery. And your journey to achieving it begins the exact moment you wake up to the reality that your reactions are always your choice. The world is never going to stop throwing challenges, rude strangers, and inconvenient situations at you. That is just the cost of admission to life. But while you cannot control what happens to you, you absolutely possess the supreme authority to decide how you respond to it. The chaos around you does not ever have to become the chaos inside you. And once you stop falling for the illusion, you become truly untouchable. Let us go back to that moment in the office, right after that terrible highway encounter, when your coworker simply dismissed your idea during the morning meeting. In that exact fraction of a second, your instinct was to snap back, to get defensive, or to let it ruin the next 8 hours of your shift. It feels completely automatic, does it not? We have been conditioned to believe that when someone pushes our buttons, we must instantly react. It is like a reflex. They attack, we defend. They yell, we yell back. But this automatic loop is exactly where we lose all our power. To take your power back, you have to understand one of the most profound secrets of human psychology, often described as the space. There is a deeply wise thought that captures this perfectly. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. Right now, your space is probably 0. The reckless driver cuts you off, and you are instantly furious. But what if you could stretch that space? What if you could hit pause before the anger takes over? I want you to imagine that you are walking through the middle of a busy city block. Maybe downtown Chicago or New York City. Right during rush hour, there are car horns blaring, construction workers shouting, and sirens wailing. It is complete chaos. Now, imagine putting on a pair of high-quality, noise-canceling headphones. The chaos of the honking cars and the loud conversations does not miraculously disappear. The noise is still happening all around you, but it simply does not reach you. It does not penetrate your personal bubble. Mastering your emotional reactions works in the exact same way. You do not have to let the noisy, chaotic behavior of other people invade your internal peace. You can put on your psychological noise-canceling headphones. This is not about suppressing how you feel or pretending you are completely numb like a robot. Anger and frustration are incredibly natural human emotions. But those emotions do not have to dictate what you do next. You can feel the heat of anger without letting it burn your house down. So, how do we actually build these headphones and expand that powerful space? It comes down to a very simple, 3-step strategy that you can use the next time someone tries to drag you into their negativity. Step 1 is to simply pause and identify. The moment you feel that familiar heat rising in your chest, force yourself to physically pause. Take 1 deep breath and name the emotion. Tell yourself, I am feeling hurt, or I am feeling irritated right now. Acknowledging it breaks the automatic reaction cycle. Step 2 is to ask questions. Instead of jumping to conclusions, reflect on what is actually happening. Is your coworker being dismissive because your idea was bad? Or are they just overwhelmingly stressed about their own deadlines? By reframing the situation, you neutralize its immediate impact on your own emotions. And step 3 is to choose your response. Decide exactly how you want to act based on your long-term peace, not the temporary heat of the moment. You choose calm over chaos. When you stretch that space, the rude stranger or the inconsiderate colleague completely loses their grip on you, and you become the undisputed master of your own mind. Now that you have started to build those psychological noise-canceling headphones and expand that powerful space between what happens to you and how you react, you are going to encounter a massive hidden obstacle. This is what we call the ego trap, and it is the exact reason why that dismissive coworker or that reckless driver on the highway gets under your skin so deeply. When you really think about it, why do we get so incredibly angry when people behave badly? It is because we fall into the toxic habit of expecting everyone else to operate by our own personal standards. You say to yourself, "I would never cut someone off in traffic like that," or "I would never embarrass a colleague in the middle of a morning meeting." You expect others to think, behave, and respond exactly the way you would. But here is the reality check. Expecting the rest of the world to share your exact values and manners is exactly like trying to control the weather. Imagine stepping outside into a massive thunderstorm without an umbrella and screaming at the clouds because you expected it to be sunny. It is completely impossible, and it only leaves you feeling exhausted, powerless, and soaking wet. Each person is walking their own path, heavily shaped by their own unique experiences, their own biases, and their own stress levels. When that coworker dismisses you, it is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their current mental state. By letting go of the unrealistic expectation that people will act just like you, you instantly free yourself from unnecessary emotional turmoil. But the ego trap has a second, even more dangerous layer, and that is the overwhelming, desperate need to always be right. Let us go back to that office meeting. Suppose you decide to confront that coworker afterward, and it quickly escalates into a heated debate. As the argument heats up, you feel that intense urge to prove your point, to show them beyond any shadow of a doubt that your idea was brilliant and they were completely wrong. We have all been there, clinging to our version of the truth as if our very survival depends on it. But that need to win every single argument is incredibly exhausting. It often stems from a hidden insecurity, a fear that if we are wrong, or if we just let it go, we somehow lose our value. A deeply powerful thought to keep in your mind whenever you feel this urge rising is this: would you rather be right, or would you rather be at peace? Insisting on being right usually creates massive tension and destroys your energy, while letting go preserves your internal calm. To escape the ego trap, you can practice these actionable steps. First, acknowledge your hidden assumptions. When someone upsets you, stop and ask yourself, what was I secretly expecting them to do? Second, drop the need for victory and seek understanding. Instead of trying to win the debate with your coworker, say something simple like, "I see where you are coming from, and I respect your perspective." It instantly diffuses the tension. Third, aggressively pick your battles. Save your precious energy for the disagreements that genuinely alter your life, not the petty office squabbles or highway encounters. You will suddenly realize that letting go of the need to control others or prove your intelligence is not a weakness. It is the ultimate form of strength. Arguments will completely lose their grip on your emotions because you have actively chosen your own peace over your pride. Once you have successfully dismantled the ego trap and realized that you do not need to win every petty argument, You will face another incredibly common challenge. What do you do when someone is not just being annoying from a distance, but they are actively invading your personal space or demanding your precious energy? Imagine this scenario. It is 4:55 in the afternoon on a Friday. You have been working incredibly hard all week, and you are just minutes away from closing your laptop to go enjoy a well-deserved weekend. Suddenly, that same coworker from the morning meeting drops a massive, last-minute project on your desk, fully assuming you will just handle it because you always do. Or perhaps you have a friend who constantly calls you at 10 in the evening, treating you like their personal therapist, completely draining your emotional reserves when you are already exhausted. In these moments, you feel a heavy weight of obligation, mixed with a deep, burning frustration. Why is it so incredibly hard to just say no? We have been conditioned to believe that saying no makes us selfish or uncooperative. But here is the absolute truth that you must internalize to protect your peace. You cannot pour water from an empty cup. If you are constantly giving your time, your focus, and your emotional energy to everyone else without protecting your own reserves, you will inevitably find yourself completely burned out, deeply resentful, and utterly disconnected from your own needs. This is where you must forge and raise the shield of boundaries. Setting boundaries is not about building massive concrete walls to shut people out of your life. It is about drawing clear, healthy lines in the sand that teach other people exactly how to treat you. People are not mind readers. If you never communicate what is acceptable and what is crossing the line, they will simply continue to push, often without even realizing the damage they are doing. Protecting your internal peace requires you to take proactive responsibility for your own space. When someone oversteps, it is a clear signal that your boundaries are either invisible or too weak. To build a truly impenetrable shield, you need to follow a practical, 3-step process for setting and maintaining your boundaries. First, you must communicate with absolute clarity and honesty. Do not beat around the bush or offer weak excuses. If that friend calls late at night, you can simply say, "I care about you deeply, but I need to keep my evenings quiet to recharge, so let us talk tomorrow." Second, always use statements that start with the word "I" instead of the word "you." Focus entirely on your own needs rather than attacking their behavior. Saying, "I need some quiet time after a long work day," is entirely different and much less defensive than saying, "You are always bothering me." Third, and this is the most crucial step of all, you must fiercely stick to your boundary once you set it. If you tell your coworker you are logging off at 5 in the evening, you must actually log off. Consistency is what proves to others that you are entirely serious about protecting your energy. The Stoic philosophers understood that true freedom is the ability to live as we wish. And you cannot live freely if you are constantly at the mercy of the demands of everyone else. By raising the shield of boundaries, you are not offending anyone. You are simply showing yourself the ultimate form of respect, ensuring that your energy is saved for the things and the people that genuinely matter the most to you. Let us stay right there in that Friday afternoon office scenario. You have just successfully raised your shield of boundaries. You looked your coworker directly in the eye and calmly stated that you are logging off at 5 in the evening to protect your weekend. Now, imagine they do not handle your new boundary well. Instead of respecting your personal space, they decide to push back. They cross their arms, let out a loud sigh, and make an incredibly passive-aggressive comment about your dedication to the team right in front of 3 other colleagues. Instantly, your heart rate spikes to 120 beats per minute. The heat rushes to your face. Every single instinct inside your body is screaming at you to fire back with a cutting remark, to aggressively defend your work ethic, and to publicly list all the times they have missed their own deadlines. You are standing right on the edge of a major verbal conflict. But what if, in that exact intense moment, you chose to do absolutely nothing? What if you deployed the ultimate weapon in emotional mastery, which is the sheer, unshakable power of silence? When someone says something hurtful or intentionally provocative, we naturally assume that if we do not respond, we are instantly losing the battle. We think silence makes us look weak, cowardly, or submissive. But the exact opposite is the profound truth. Responding with total silence is the ultimate display of overwhelming strength. It is an impenetrable psychological shield that entirely deflects the negativity without dragging you down into the mud. Think of an argument as a blazing fire. A fire absolutely requires constant fuel and oxygen to keep burning. When someone provokes you, they are desperately throwing a lit match at you, practically begging you to throw some dry wood onto it by arguing back. When you choose to remain completely silent, you are starving their fire of the exact oxygen it desperately needs to survive. Without your angry reaction, their provocation simply burns out and falls flat on the floor. The great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius famously stated that the best answer to anger is silence. Silence loudly communicates to the provocateur and to everyone else standing in the room that you absolutely refuse to let their chaotic behavior control your internal state. You are showing them that your peace of mind is vastly more important than proving a petty point. So, how do you practically wield this ultimate weapon without feeling like a passive punching bag? You can use a very straightforward 3-step strategy the next time someone tries to drag you into an unnecessary fight. Step 1 is to hold your physical ground and breathe. When the provocative comment hits the air, do not flinch and do not look down. Simply stand there, look at them with a relaxed, neutral expression, and take one deep, slow breath. This physical pause forces the other person to sit in the heavy, uncomfortable silence of their own rude behavior. Step 2 is to actively listen without defending. Sometimes, people are just heavily projecting their own deep insecurities or immense stress onto you. Let their harsh words hang in the empty air without feeling the overwhelming urge to explain yourself. You do not owe anyone an immediate justification for your healthy boundaries. Step 3 is to evaluate if a response is even genuinely necessary. An ancient Buddhist teaching reminds us to speak only if it improves upon the silence. If responding will only escalate the drama, keep your mouth closed and simply walk away. You will leave the office that Friday afternoon with your energy completely intact. leaving the other person to wrestle with their own completely unreciprocated negativity, while you remain truly untouchable. So, you held your ground, you stayed completely silent, and eventually, your coworker realized they were not going to get the explosive reaction they were desperately seeking. But as they turned to walk away, they muttered one final, deeply personal criticism about your capabilities and your overall value to the team. You survived the confrontation, but now you are sitting at your desk, and those harsh words are echoing in your mind. Even though you did not react outwardly, you feel that familiar sting of self-doubt creeping in. Why does this happen? It happens because, almost universally, we have been conditioned to let the words of other people define our own internal self-worth. We build our entire foundation of confidence on the incredibly shaky ground of external validation. But here is the profound reality you must internalize to truly protect your peace. Your worth is absolutely not up for debate, and it is certainly not determined by the passing opinion of a stressed, frustrated coworker. When you rely on other people to tell you that you are valuable, you are handing them the ultimate power to destroy you when they decide you are not. You must build what Stoic philosophers call the internal filter. Imagine you are panning for gold in a rapidly moving river out in the wild. The river is naturally going to bring a lot of mud, a lot of rocks, and a lot of useless debris. You do not get angry at the river for bringing mud. That is simply what rivers do. Instead, you use a fine mesh filter to catch the rare, valuable flakes of gold while letting all the worthless dirt wash right back into the water. Criticism works in the exact same way. When someone throws a harsh critique at you, they are simply dumping a bucket of river water into your filter. It is not a direct attack on your soul. It is simply raw data. Sometimes, people criticize you out of pure envy, deep ignorance, or sheer malice. That is the mud, and you must let it wash away without a second thought. But occasionally, hidden inside a terribly delivered insult, there is a tiny flake of truth that you can actually use to improve yourself. To effectively use your Stoic filter and detach your self-worth from the opinions of others, you need to follow a clear, 3-step process the next time someone criticizes you. Step 1 is to strictly evaluate the source. Before you let a critique pierce your armor, ask yourself if this person genuinely has your best interests in mind, and if they actually know what they are talking about. If the answer is no, their opinion immediately loses all of its weight. Step 2 is to aggressively separate fact from opinion. Look at what they said completely objectively. Is there a concrete fact you can extract and use to get better? Or is it entirely just their emotional projection? Keep the gold and instantly discard the mud. Step 3 is to reaffirm your intrinsic value. Remind yourself, out loud if you have to, that your worth as a human being is completely independent of their approval. A negative comment from a coworker is just a momentary breeze. It cannot knock down a house built on a solid foundation. By reframing criticism as a tool for your own growth rather than a fatal blow to your ego, you completely strip the other person of their power to hurt you. You finally log off your computer and leave the office that Friday evening not feeling defeated by their parting insult, but feeling incredibly empowered. knowing that absolutely no one can diminish your value unless you explicitly give them permission to do so. So you left the office that Friday evening feeling completely empowered. You successfully raised your shield of boundaries. You used your stoic filter to separate your coworker's harsh parting insult from your own self-worth. And you walked out of the building with your internal peace entirely intact. You get into your car, turn on your favorite music, and start the drive home, ready to finally relax and enjoy your well-deserved weekend. But just as you merge onto the highway, you hit a massive, endless wall of red brake lights. It is a complete gridlock. You are stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic, moving at maybe 5 miles per hour, and your navigation application suddenly adds 45 minutes to your commute. Instantly, that hard-won piece begins to crack under the pressure. You feel the heavy exhaustion of the long work week crashing down on you all at once. You grip the steering wheel tightly, let out a loud groan of frustration, and feel a fresh, intense wave of anger bubbling up in your chest. You start thinking about how incredibly unfair it is that after dealing with difficult people all week, you cannot even get a smooth, easy ride home. It feels like the universe is purposefully piling on the stress. In this exact moment of extreme frustration, you are standing at another crucial crossroads. You can easily let this traffic jam completely ruin your Friday night, carrying that heavy, miserable energy all the way through your front door and dumping it onto your family. Or you can deploy the ultimate emotional antidote. Here is a deeply profound psychological truth that can instantly stop anger in its tracks. It is physically and mentally impossible for the human brain to feel genuine gratitude and burning anger at the exact same time. Gratitude is not just a polite social custom or a fluffy, optimistic concept. It is a highly effective, instant mental reset button. When you are furious about being stuck in traffic, your brain is entirely focused on what you are lacking, which is time, speed, and momentum. But the second you actively force your brain to search for something to be thankful for, you completely interrupt the destructive spiral of negativity. The famous Roman philosopher Cicero stated that gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. It completely dissolves the heat of the moment and replaces it with a calm, grounding perspective. So, how do you actually use this antidote when you are actively irritated, and the absolute last thing you want to do is smile and be thankful? You can use a powerful 10-second, 3-step exercise to instantly reframe the situation and take back control. Step 1 is to forcefully hit the pause button and look around your environment. When you feel the tension rising in your neck, take your hands off the steering wheel for a second. Take one deep breath and ask yourself what is functioning well right now. Step 2 is to identify just one specific thing you are genuinely thankful for in that exact moment. It does not have to be something deeply philosophical or life-changing. You can be grateful that your car air conditioning is working perfectly on a warm evening, or that you have a safe home to return to, or even just that you are listening to a really great song on the radio. Step 3 is to reframe the obstacle as an opportunity. Instead of viewing the traffic jam as a terrible prison sentence, look at it as an unexpected pocket of free time. You now have 45 uninterrupted minutes to decompress. Listen to an educational audiobook, or simply sit in the quiet before the chaos of the weekend begins. By actively injecting gratitude into a highly frustrating situation, you completely neutralize the anger. You pull yourself out of the victim mindset and remind yourself of the abundance that still exists, even when things are incredibly inconvenient. You will finally pull into your driveway later that evening, not as a furious, exhausted worker, but as someone who is deeply calm, entirely in control, and completely ready to embrace the joy of the weekend. You wake up on Saturday morning. The sun is streaming through your bedroom window, and you finally have a quiet, peaceful moment entirely to yourself. You brew a fresh, hot cup of coffee, step out onto your back porch, and take a deep breath of the crisp morning air. You feel absolutely fantastic, but then, completely unprompted, your brain decides to instantly replay the exact moment your coworker insulted you yesterday afternoon. Or perhaps it replays that aggressive driver cutting you off on the highway. Suddenly, your jaw tightens, your shoulders tense up. You are sitting in the total safety of your own backyard, but internally, you are right back in that stressful office, fighting a phantom battle that is already over. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we voluntarily drag the heavy, toxic baggage of yesterday into the pristine peace of today? This brings us to the final and perhaps most profound challenge of your journey toward emotional mastery, which is the absolute necessity of the final release, or the art of letting go. I want you to imagine that you are standing in your yard, and you bend down to pick up a glowing, red-hot piece of coal from a fire pit. You grip it incredibly tightly in your bare hand, staring intensely down the street at the house of the person who wronged you, waiting for the perfect opportunity to throw it at them. Who is actually getting burned in this bizarre scenario? The other person is completely unaware, happily going about their weekend, while your own hand is blistering and suffering in agonizing pain, holding onto anger, grudges, and deep resentment works in the exact same physical and psychological way. An ancient philosopher once beautifully noted that holding onto anger is exactly like drinking deadly poison and patiently expecting the other person to die. When you spend your precious Saturday morning stewing over a minor injustice that happened 24 hours ago, you are actively choosing to let that person ruin your weekend from a distance. They are living completely rent-free inside your mind. We universally struggle to let go because we mistakenly believe that holding onto the burning anger is a form of justice. We think that if we simply let it go, we are somehow admitting defeat or saying that their terrible behavior was acceptable. But letting go does not mean forgetting the lesson, and it certainly does not mean condoning what they did. It simply means you are making a highly conscious, intelligent decision to stop burning your own hand. It means intentionally releasing the massive emotional weight that is dragging you down so you can reclaim your vital energy for the present moment. To truly master this final release, you must utilize a definitive 3-step process whenever old resentments try to crash your peaceful moments. Step 1 is to gently acknowledge the feeling without feeding it new oxygen. When the painful memory of that coworker pops up, do not get angry at yourself for remembering. Simply say out loud, I am remembering a frustrating moment from the past, and I am choosing not to engage with it. Step 2 is to physically visualize the release. Close your eyes and picture that toxic memory as a heavy, dark balloon that you have been gripping tightly by the string. Now, imagine simply opening your hand and watching it float away into the sky until it completely disappears. Step 3 is to aggressively pivot your attention back to the present reality. Force your brain to engage with exactly what is in front of you right now. Focus entirely on the rich, roasted taste of your morning coffee, the soothing sound of the wind in the trees, or the comforting warmth of the sun on your face. By actively dropping the hot coal and firmly returning to the present moment, you permanently sever the invisible chain connecting you to the past. You finalize your absolute emotional freedom, ensuring with absolute certainty that the chaos of yesterday can never steal the magnificent joy of today. As you sit there on your back porch this beautiful Saturday morning, taking another slow sip of your coffee, you realize something incredibly profound. That heavy, suffocating weight you have been carrying around for days, maybe even weeks, is completely gone. By actively choosing to let go of that glowing hot coal, you have reclaimed your weekend, your energy, and your entire life. You are no longer a passive passenger being tossed around by the unpredictable storms of other people. You are firmly in the driver's seat. But here is the most important thing you must remember as we wrap up this journey together. Emotional mastery is not a magical destination that you reach one time and then never have to think about again. It is a daily practice. It is a psychological muscle that requires consistent, intentional exercise. The world is absolutely going to keep testing you. There will be more reckless drivers on the highway. There will be more passive-aggressive emails sitting in your inbox on Monday morning. There will be more friends who unintentionally cross your boundaries. The ultimate goal is not to somehow permanently eliminate all the annoying people and frustrating situations from the planet, because that is entirely impossible. The goal is to build an internal fortress of peace that is so incredibly strong that absolutely nothing from the outside can ever break in and steal your joy. Because I want you to truly build this muscle and experience this unbelievable level of freedom for yourself, I am giving you a highly specific challenge to complete over the next 24 hours. I call it the 24-hour Unbothered Challenge, and it consists of 3 simple but deeply transformative steps. Step 1 is to actively anticipate the test. Wake up tomorrow morning fully expecting that at least one person or one situation is going to try to push your buttons and drag you into their chaos. When you expect the test, it instantly loses the element of surprise. Step 2 is to fiercely protect the space. The very second you feel that familiar heat of anger or frustration rising in your chest, you must completely stop whatever you are doing. Do not speak. Do not type a response. Do not honk your car horn. Force yourself to take one massive, deep breath and physically feel that powerful space between their action and your reaction. Step 3 is to consciously choose your peace. Ask yourself in that exact moment, is engaging with this person going to protect my energy, or is it going to drain my battery? Then, simply put on your psychological noise-canceling headphones. Let their negativity wash right past you, and walk away with your head held entirely high, You have the absolute power to stay calm, centered, and completely free, and that power lies entirely in your own hands. I want to hear exactly how this challenge goes for you. Go down into the comments section right now and share a story about a time when you successfully paused and protected your peace. Or let me know what specific boundary you are going to set this coming week. Reading your stories creates an incredible community of strength for all of us. If this message helped you build your internal shield today, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so we can keep building these vital tools together. Remember, the chaos around you never has to become the chaos inside you. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep expanding that powerful space. And above all else, stay completely unbothered.